Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you as always for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Layla, the Lenormand reader, and today folks we are doing a pick-a-card reading, and I am focusing on a more or less open-ended reading about what message is meant to find you today. So we're going to do 3 medium-sized readings. I have in mind between an extended portrait, a 3x5, and mini tableaus, and we're going to do 3 of them. So we have 3 charms today, and I want to go through them quickly for you to tune into them. This is the scissors charm, this is the coin, an old coin kind of charm, and a really beautiful clock key here, a small clock key. So see which one you want to tune into for this reading, and as always you're going to find the timestamps in the description box. So I will see you in your reading. Okay, scissors group, here we are with your cute charm. We're going to move it to the side, and the deck, which is always shuffled between readings. And for your reading, scissors group, I want to do an extended portrait, a 3x5. And I like to deal the extended portraits and the mini tableaus and the tableaus, of course, because they're larger spreads. So I make sure that my deck is shuffled between readings, and I just shuffle it a bit more and then deal out the cards. Okay, scissors group, here we are with your cards, with your extended portrait, and we see right in the middle there is a woman. So clearly this card brings a person into the picture, and this is very key to what is coming to you in terms of the message for you right now. It brings into focus a relationship, a person, and the thing about the woman is that she can represent almost anyone in your life, just like the man. The idea is that it's someone who would have quite a bit of influence on your affairs, so someone who's relevant. She can be a friend, a sibling, a colleague, a mother. She could be your partner. So she can be really any number of people in your life. The idea is that she has that kind of relevance on your affairs. And of course, she's in the center of it all. So there's all the more reason to think that this is someone who has an important influence on your situation. I also like to look at the corner cards when I do a tableau. We have the cross and ship. This is a nice pair. It can suggest an important trip that comes up for you. If it's not physical travel, it can be an important project, some kind of venture that opens up for you. And the thing about the cross is that it has an element of destiny and things that are meant to be. So this pair here, in terms of these corner cards, can suggest that you are meant to go down a certain direction, you're meant to take a certain trip, something of importance opens up for you, and it does pave the way for some kind of direction or some kind of project, or possibly even an adventure that can be represented by the ship. Now, the 2 other corner cards are a very beautiful pair. We have the key and the sun. This is a pair of all-around success. It is a combination of brilliance, intelligence. The idea of being able to see really clearly is very well captured by these 2 cards. That's because the key is about intelligence, and the sun is all around light and shining success. So your corner cards are really exciting. You're in for success, adventure, some kind of new direction that opens up for you, and probably also the green light that comes through the key and sun. Now, I like to start off a little bit also with the first few cards of a portrait. We have the cross, fox, and scythe. I have to say, scissors group, that this can be a job change. That's because the fox is associated with 9 to 5 kind of employment, and the scythe here is a card of usually breakup and severance and separations. But when we see the clover and sun after that, it points to a breakthrough, some kind of lucky break that comes your way. So you could have a major opportunity or a sudden opportunity for you to make quite a big change in your life right now. The cross, fox, and scythe can be a bit challenging. It can suggest that maybe things happen a bit suddenly. Maybe you have to make a tough choice in the face of this opportunity. And also, you're probably going to have to think on your feet. So you might find it a bit challenging. And honestly, the cross scissors group might suggest that you have to deal with this. So it's not like you can escape from it, run away from it, or avoid dealing with it. This is something that you have to handle right now. But because of the beautiful clover and sun, it's very clear that it's in your best interest to face up to this sudden opportunity and do something with it. And again, because of the fox being a card of jobs, I wonder, perhaps for some of you, this can mean an opportunity to change your work. So this is where the tough decision can come. And even if you're not employed 9 to 5, or you don't have a job like in the traditional sense, this can be about your project and your business, or whatever it is you do as a main activity in your life. And remember, we saw the cross and the ship in your corner card. So the ship can also be associated with projects and business. The idea of trade, the idea of import-export is very much associated with the ship. So all sorts of exciting projects can open up for you. The thing about this top line here is that you might need to make a choice and maybe need to make a change, possibly a radical one. Now the ring star, woman, moon, and lily is a wonderful line carrying the woman here in the middle. The ring and star is very supportive for relationships, and the moon and lily is also really supportive across several possible areas. The lily can be associated with work and career, again pouring into the idea of the job with the fox, or the idea of projects and ventures with the ship. And the moon and lily can suggest an offer, but it's also associated with your lifestyle. It can represent phases, the idea of reaching milestones. So taking this line here, overall, I do think this woman could be the one who brings you this opportunity. She might be someone supportive, who appreciates you, who thinks highly of you, and she could be the one who brings you this opportunity and this invitation to make a change. I think also the ring and star, along with the moon and lily on either side of the woman, are very positive for love relationships. The idea of relationships is very well represented through the ring, as well as the woman in the middle, but the idea of love can come through the moon and sun. And this is a pretty powerful combination for love, attraction, through the archetypal feminine and masculine that come through the moon and sun here. So that too is a very good, is a very well starred area for you this time around. Now, I think there's more that comes through this row, especially when we T-cross it with the central column, but let's move on first to the bottom row. We have the key, garden, and then the clouds, road, and ship. So the road and ship is a pretty clear combination here, suggesting the idea of change. The road is sometimes associated with crossroads, and we did see the cross as the corner card to the ship. So I feel there could be a literal change happening for you this time around. And again, the clouds can bring a bit of challenges here. Just like we suggested with the cross, you have to think about the path ahead. You get an opportunity that is represented by the key and garden here. And so you might need to make some changes, and you could feel like you're not really prepared for them and that the road ahead is a little bit bumpy. But I really think you want to make that change and embrace this opportunity, Scissors Group, because it is looking really good for you. The key and garden is also nice for being appreciated by others. The garden is a social card that can represent society, community, or any environment that you're part of. And with the key here, we see that you're doing really well. You could land, again, a job. The garden is sometimes associated with work. You have maybe some success in the marketplace. Perhaps you're launching a product or a service, or you're putting yourself out there. And so we see here that you are well received, and there's quite a bit of success, and it opens up this door for you. And even though the clouds is a bit challenging, You want to figure out these little challenges that come your way because it is an exciting new direction that opens up for you. Now, moving on to the columns, we have the cross, ring, and key on the left. So again, this is really good for relationships. The key and ring is a supportive relationship and certainly one that brings opportunity. The cross is interesting here. It can suggest a number of things. It can mean that you have to live up to certain responsibilities, probably to live up to the success that we're seeing in your cards. It's possible also that you have quite a bit of things that you need to bring to a head, some work, some tasks. And the thing about the ring is that it can also represent a bit of routine, and you have to complete things. So make sure that when you move on to this new opportunity, or as you undertake the changes that are clearly represented in your cards, you want to tie up loose ends as much as possible so that you can move on a clean slate. And the cross and ring can also suggest a destined relationship, so a relationship that is important. And that probably ties into this woman that we see in the central row and in the middle of your whole extended portrait here. So be sure you make time for others, that you are living up to the expectations, you are keeping your promises, really maintaining integrity as much as you can, because you're in for quite a bit of transition here. Now, the fox, star, and garden is another beautiful triplet for your success, for job success, for success in the marketplace. The fox is the job card. The garden can also represent the job, the marketplace, your community. And the star is one of the brightest cards of the deck. Clearly here we're seeing success, probably on a bigger scale, maybe on a bigger scale that you expected. And really embrace your success. And I would also say be there for others, give and take, be part of this community that is supporting you. Now, the Scythe Woman and Clouds is a bit tricky because these are two challenging cards, especially when they show up together. So because there are so many other bright cards around the woman and in your extended portrait as a whole, I would want to downplay a little bit what would normally be a pretty challenging combination, which is the Clouds and Scythe. The way I would look at this pair in this context is that this woman brings unexpected news. It is that news or communication that rocks your boat, that gets you to have to think fast, to have to make a decision. Like we said, the choices are not necessarily easy. We saw the cross in the top row, the clouds in the bottom row. And when I see the Scythe, Woman, and Clouds, which is the central column that T-crosses the central row, I think she could come with some unexpected news that rocks your boat and that puts you in this probably urgent mode that makes you make a choice and make a decision about embracing the opportunity that she brings. The Clover, Moon, and Road is a beautiful triplet for an invitation to go down a certain path. So again, we're seeing these ideas repeating themselves. I really feel that you could be in for an offer or some kind of invitation or some news that opens up this opportunity for you. And just like we saw the Moon and Lily suggesting your life and your lifestyle, the Moon and Road, and the Road is also close to the Lily, I feel that you could be in for a lifestyle change. Something changes in a slightly deeper way for you this time around, Scissors Group. And we also saw the cross as your very first card, and the cross is a card of destiny, of matters that are a bit deeper in life. They're the bigger things in life. And then we wrap up with the Sun, Lily, and Ship, and this is an all-around success combination. You are on the right track. You could be pursuing a vocation at this point. It is going beyond the job, going beyond day-to-day projects into pursuing something that you're passionate about, something that aligns with your life path. I feel this is very, very possible. And of course, the idea of physical travel is still possible for you through these cards. It can be a business trip or a trip that involves this change that we're talking about. But it is certainly a wonderful adventure for you, Scissors Group. And I think the challenges that are associated with this opportunity, I think, can be downplayed. I'm not saying you ignore them or you don't deal with them. What I'm saying is that in comparison with the opportunity and the wonderful changes that come for you, I think you can manage these little challenges. You know, the challenges are sort of small compared to the size of this opportunity that comes your way and the excitement that comes with it. So these are some wonderful messages for you, Scissors Group. So just to summarize here before we continue with some more detail, a woman seems to bring a wonderful opportunity your way. It might have been unexpected, but it is certainly something you want to take advantage of. You're in for success. Others appreciate you. You get an offer, some honors, and certainly an opportunity to make changes that affect your life in deeper ways. So very exciting. Now we can weave a few more details by looking at the diagonals, and the diagonals, they cross the portraits. So we have 3 complete portraits in an extended 3x5. We have the one around the star, the one around the woman, and the one around the moon. So this means that these 3 cards are, you know, the inside cards. They are framed by the outer lines of the 3x5. And these are 2 beautiful cards on either side of the woman, clearly suggesting that she is someone supportive, someone who appreciates you, and who enables your success and delivers a wish for you. So a wonderful set of cards. Now the diagonals, I always like to read the 2 V's here, the downward V and the upward V. We have the cross star clouds into the moon and sun. So the clouds would normally be challenging, a little bit challenging, but with the star and moon and the sun here, these are celestial cards, you know, they have to do with the planets. And so the clouds, in this sense, I suggest point to your sense of aspirations. And with the cross being this card of destiny, it is really a good time to at least think about what you really want out of your life or out of the current phase in your life, and to really go for your big ambition, or your big ambitions if you have several of them. It's really about shooting for the stars, aiming high, and really going for what you aspire to and what inspires you. And like we said, the moon and sun is also a combination of relationships and of love. So it can suggest a relationship that comes through. Maybe the clouds brings a bit of doubt, but really with the cross and star and then the beautiful moon and sun, I feel this can work out really, really positively for you. This is a beautiful set of cards. The key star and then the scythe, moon, and ship is, again, I feel this idea of an invitation. The moon and ship is very much about a proposal, and then the key and star is wish fulfillment, the green light. And the scythe being a card of sharpness and suddenness, this really could come a little bit out of the blue for you. It might have been unexpected, but I feel that you are going to embrace this. Even though you don't feel prepared, you're going to engage and respond quickly and take advantage of this opportunity here. Or it can be a physical trip. You know, you decide your opportunity has come, let's do it. And you embrace it and you move forward and you don't hesitate. In all cases, the scythe would definitely advise you that. It would definitely advise you not to wobble, not to overthink it maybe. Of course, you can't throw all caution to the wind, but sometimes being paralyzed and overthinking things delay the good that is lined up for us. So assess the situation as quickly as you can, all the while aligning with your good, with your priorities, with what matters to you, and then embrace the opportunity. More diagonals we can read are the ones that start here in the middle. We have the ring, fox, and then the woman, road, and lily. I feel this can be a job change. There's a relationship. sometimes the fox is tricky in relationships, and we see that we have the fox on the ring and the fox on the woman. So it can highlight the idea of a tricky relationship, but perhaps in this case, it's really more about managing the relationship. Maybe this woman affects your professional life, so you need to be diplomatic in some way or other. And the reason I feel like the fox is not all that challenging like it normally would is because there are so many other positive things going on here as well. And then on the other side of the woman, we have the road back to the lily. And this is very much about your life and your life path, milestones, important steps in life that you're taking at this stage. So very, very exciting. And then the other one is the ring garden into the woman, clover, and lily. So here, for example, we have the clover next to the woman and we have the garden into the ring. So it seems to be a very supportive relationship despite what we saw with the fox. And the clover and lily is wonderful for all things work, lifestyle. It's also great for maturing and being at peace with yourself, with your life. This is a very exciting set of cards, and we see that you are blessed with this relationship and with this involvement that is very much indicated by the ring and garden. I have to say that this is also really good for relationships. Sometimes the ring and garden is representative of a wedding or an engagement party or some kind of close collaboration in that sense. So it can be really good for relationships. And if that's what is the main theme for you, then the message of the cards is also really, really bright. So overall, Scissors Group, I am seeing that this is a beautiful message coming your way. It is a message that can rock your boat a little bit. You might need to respond quickly. It might shake you up. It might cause you to have to make some tough decisions, but it is definitely worth your time and it is definitely rewarding. This is about your growth and your life in a deeper way, in a broader sense. This is about your passions, your aspirations, and your success on a bigger scale. So I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity. In the very least, make sure you understand what this opportunity is about before you decide that it's not right for you. And through this process, you want to focus on the messenger or the person who brings you this opportunity, because I think this is someone who has your back, who is supportive, and who can guide you possibly on your way to success. And again, when it comes to relationships, there are some positive prospects. Maybe something shaky could come through the surface, but I think instead of it causing problems, I think it brings an opportunity to become closer to each other. And when you look at the columns, most of them are great, and it's really the right-hand side column that sets you off on this beautiful path with the ship here on the right-hand side and the beautiful sun and the lilies. So it's like a clear message of moving forward in your life in a positive way, in a way that nurtures you, that makes you happy, and that is aligned with what you want to do. So I think this can be a turning point. It's clearly a wonderful opportunity. So take advantage of this, Scissors Group. Do your best to think on your feet and to assess your priorities so you can make a quick decision. But I do feel that you're most probably going to embrace this and move forward with it. So some beautiful cards here for you, Scissors Group. Let me know how you like these ideas. Leave me your thoughts and comments. I'm really looking forward to them. And until we meet again, thank you so much for watching and take very good care of yourself. Welcome, Coin Group. Here we are with your lovely charm and the deck that is always shuffled between readings. So for your layout, I want to do a mini tableau. I want to do a mini piqué tableau. So my deck is always shuffled between readings. Let's go ahead and deal out the cards for your mini piqué here. Okay, Coin Group, here we are with your mini piqué. And we have quite a lot going on here. It is a large spread with lots of cards in it. Let's start to build the picture from the general outer cards into the details. So the first cards that I like to look at are the corner cards and the bottom row, and then a little bit on the inside the heart of the mini piqué. So at your corner cards, we have the fox and the ring. This is a tricky relationship. It can point to someone who needs to be managed. But I have to say, coin group, that because the fox is your first card in the Piquet tableau, it might cover you. You might be the one who needs to be smart and clever, maybe being diplomatic, playing it smart, trying to find your way around this so that you can get what you want, go after what you want. And with the ring here, it's likely that not everyone is someone you can trust. You need to manage your relationships in a smart way. And also, you need to pursue what is of interest to you. So you need to pursue your goals. You need to prioritize what matters to you at this point. I also have to say that the fox can also represent the idea of work and the job, and the fact that it's your first card can certainly highlight that. And with the ring, it is then the idea of living up to your responsibilities. Maybe you're feeling a bit drained or not in the mood for this, but the ring really encourages you to commit and to live up to your expectations and responsibilities and commitments. The road and flowers is a beautiful combination. In contrast to the fox, the flowers is an all-around bright card that brings a lot of success and optimism. And it is also associated with the idea of return, especially with a card like the road, which is about moves and changes. The road and flowers can certainly suggest someone or something that returns, that comes back into play. So I think this gives you a breath of fresh energy into your life. It gives you a sense of enthusiasm and probably enough to keep you going with your responsibilities, your routine, and really sticking with your expectations, and living up to your promises. So I do feel that you are in for a sense of refreshment, the idea that you're gonna find energy again to keep on going. Now, the bottom line of a piquet is usually important. It can literally represent the outcome, like the bottom line in a literal sense. And we do have the clouds, which can be a little bit challenging. And I feel that with the letter and fish here, this really points to probably some expenses, some bills. The thing about the mountain is that it can be in relation to a place that is farther away from where you are. It can be in a different city or a different country altogether. But the mountain can also suggest that things were on hold, or that there are certain obstacles that you need to overcome. And the thing about the letter, clouds and fish, is that they can represent bills, paperwork, practical things that you need to deal with, applications, all sorts of documents and administration that you could be dealing with at this stage. The thing about the mountain is that it can also feel a little bit of a drag, a bit like the fox and ring here. Now, what is also interesting is that the letter with the fish can suggest an offer of work. And the thing about the mountain here is that it can be in a different place, and so the clouds can suggest the idea of having to think about this. This is not necessarily an easy decision, or maybe there are a few elements that you need to negotiate, a few items that you need to think about, but in general, it can represent an offer that comes your way. And when we consider this bottom line in light of the fox and ring and the road and flowers, it may well be a new job, a new project, a new involvement, possibly a new customer if you're in business with yourself. And this can bring you an opportunity, and that's what you need to think about. Now, in the inside here of the heart of the Piquet tableau, we can look at these two cards because they're inside the big frame, and we can also look at these cards because they're inside the outer frame as well, including the bottom line. So they are some very beautiful cards. We have two cards of place. So the garden is a community. It's also associated with a place, and the house is about your home. It's also about your foundation. So these two cards are very much associated with location, and these two cards are two of the brightest cards of the deck. So there is quite a lot of wonderful energy captured in the heart of the tableau. The house and sun is a wonderful home life, and the star and garden is all around success. Popularity is very much indicated here. So you could be in for a lot of appreciation, honors, a sense of achievement, being appreciated by others, being successful in the marketplace, and having a really good reputation going for you. Maybe in a more day-to-day sense, your sense of well-being, your space, your foundation, your home, the places that you frequent, all come into play for you in the coming phase, and they are really, really well starred with the beautiful star and sun. So all around success cards in the heart of your tableau here. And when we consider them in light of what we saw in the corner cards and the bottom row, I think you could be doing really well on the job, in the marketplace. The house can represent your job or your team. And this can be about your business, for example, or any other activity that takes up, your life, that is the focus of your activity. So wonderful success is in the cards for you. So with this said, let's go into the details of the rows and columns. Starting with the top row, we have the fox, clover, and moon. So right off these 3 cards here, this is an offer, an opportunity, very lucky that comes your way. The mouse is tricky, the cross can also be tricky, but the flowers is a healing card, and it does turn around any challenges brought by these 2 cards. The cross can also have that sense of destiny, importance, deeper things happening for you. And so with the mouse here, maybe it's a bit of a sacrifice, maybe it's a speed bump. Like I thought, with the clouds, this offer or this opportunity can cause you to think about your priorities, can cause you to think a little bit about the big picture or what happens next for you. So it can be a little bit tricky. But the thing about the mouse is that it's also really good with detail. So it asks you to focus on the little things. And if there are little issues, take control now, because you don't want them to grow into bigger things. And that's the thing about the mouse, is that it gives you a warning sign earlier on. But if you let it go and you leave things unchecked, it can grow into a bigger problem. But I don't see this happen for you, because the cross and flowers is very positive. And I also think that it's really navigating a small issue. It can be a bit of a sacrifice, a smaller sacrifice, or it can be about prioritizing what matters to you. It's also possible that the mouse has to do with stress, in a physical sense, feeling a little bit drained. But again, the flowers being a healing card, if you do what you need to do, you're gonna overcome this and come back with lots of energy. So in the broader line here in the top row, I think that you're in for a wonderful opportunity. Something could come your way. It might be unexpected, and so it causes you a bit of this speed bump that we're talking about. But I think if you just bear with it and you see through it, and you assess it, I think you're going to come to a very positive conclusion about it. And again, I feel that you have a renewed sense of energy coming your way. Now, in the second row, this is a very powerful set of cards. We have movement cards. The child is about a new beginning. The stork and house is the combination of house moves. And on top of that, we have the key, which often with the house has to do with either buying property or moving into a home. The idea of taking ownership, you have the key to the house. And the star is an all-around success card and wish fulfillment card. The thing is that the whip is really tricky in this line. It's not clear what it could be telling us from, just from looking at this. But I think thinking about this a bit more, I think you are again making a choice. This is the challenge that we saw with the clouds, with the mouse and cross, the idea that you have to weigh the option and then make the choice. But I think the change is what is well starred. I think making a change is the better choice right now. And even if it brings a bit of challenges, or perhaps this could be news to others, I think it's important for you to embrace change at this point. So take a stand, embrace what is good for you, even if this means sacrificing something, or perhaps it comes as heavy news to others that you need to make that change. I still think you need to embrace it. The whip can also engage your energy. I think we saw this with the flowers and the road and the flowers in the top row. It might be a time when you have to think fast, maybe respond faster than you were prepared for. The idea of the whip is really to engage your energy, so go for it. Now in the third row, we have the road, dog, and garden, and then the sun, scythe, and ring. So the scythe and ring is a standout combination. It clearly points to a divorce, in separation kind of sense. So again, I'm seeing this idea that you could be moving into something new, making a change, doing something different. And with the whip, we saw this could be about leaving. Now, I'm not really seeing relationship cards in your tableau. Yes, we have the dog, but I'm not seeing, this energy of the breakup of a relationship or something falling apart with relationships. Instead, I'm seeing a lot more the idea of opportunity and positive changes. And I think these are coming through the bottom line, your corner cards, the focus on work and money and your activity here, the community and the marketplace. So I'm not so sure this is about relationships in a personal sense. It can be for some of you, but I think the main idea coming through here is a change with regards to where you work, a certain environment, a certain community. And what's really interesting is that we have the sun in this line. We have the sun and garden, and we read these as part of the heart. So we are looking at quite a bit of success and popularity here. And what comes through is the idea that you break off and probably to pursue the next level of growth. So oftentimes, Coin Group, when we are moving up to the next stage or moving on to a better opportunity, we have to let go of at least part of the circumstance that we're currently in. If we don't release some things, how do we welcome the new? Growth means releasing the previous stage often enough. So this is what I feel could be coming through here. Now, I'm not going to say that it's necessarily easy, but it seems to be a necessary part of the next phase for you. So be willing to change, be willing to let go of anything limiting, and be willing to part with the previous stage that you are in right now in order to embrace that next level. I mean, it seems to be necessary. I appreciate that it's not necessarily easy, but it seems to be part of the growth and the opportunity that you are embracing next. Let's move on to the columns. We have the fox, child, and road. So clearly this is a new chapter, a new phase, a new direction with the road here. The fox can point to the job. It can mean a customer. It can refer to that opportunity. I think because the fox covers you, it's important that you have foresight about what's ahead as much as possible. Calculate your steps forward. But still, the idea of a new chapter is very clearly indicated in the card. So again, these messages repeating themselves. The clovers, stork, dog, and mountain. You could be visiting someone abroad because of the dog and mountain. Someone could be coming to you. This would tie into the road and flowers, this idea of a return. But clearly the idea of forward movement, change, activity is very much highlighted through these cards. This could be part of teamwork, maybe the customer again represented by the dog. But with the clover, it's very, very lucky. So another indication that it is in your interest to embrace change, to embrace this opportunity. Now this column here is very clear about suggesting an offer. The column is bracketed by the two cards that point to an invitation and an offer. The moon and letter is a proposal, and then the house and garden is like an invitation to someone's house. This can be about friends, relationships, like we suggested, but it can also point to the job, a certain community, a certain environment that you're going to be part of. It is a beautiful combination. There is that sense of appreciation and welcome that is coming through this line. The mouse, star, sun, and clouds. The column is bracketed by 2 challenging cards, but inside we have 2 of the brightest cards of the deck. So both the star and the sun are all around wish fulfillment cards. Very, very powerful. And really, the clouds and mouse, by comparison, or should I say by contrast, are much smaller. So the mouse and clouds are not as negative as the star and sun are positive. The sun and star easily overcome any challenges represented by the clouds and mouse. So this is where we're seeing you have a bit of a bottleneck or a speed bump, little issues that you need to work through as you embrace the change. The bigger cards are in the next 2 columns. We have the cross, key, scythe, and fish. Now the scythe is normally challenging, but it can also be pretty neutral. With the key, I tend to see it as a breakthrough, the idea of really having first an opportunity and second that sense of sharpness, like really being aware, seeing through any challenges, piercing any veil of darkness, having that sense of brilliance. And what's interesting is that the cross and key are 2 of the spiritual cards of the Lenormand deck, the third one being the tower. Sometimes the clover is taken as a bit spiritual because it's associated with luck, but these are deeper cards. I think they bring out this idea of something that's meant to be an opportunity that affects your deeper purpose, life lessons. I feel that there's quite a bit of insight and awareness that is available to you now. And with the fish on the other side of the scythe, this can be the opportunity again that is represented by the fish. Again, I feel that it is work-related, business-related, because the fish is the card of money. We also have the fox, the house and garden, so I feel that this opportunity is very much about your life activity. So a brilliant time, a time of breaking through, and also the ability to embrace something bigger for yourself. Now, the last column is admittedly challenging because it has the most challenging card of the deck, which is the whip, but it's really interesting that we have the flowers. The whip and ring would clearly represent separation, just like the scythe and ring. And so there's a bit of a challenging triplet here, but we also have the key and flowers next to them. And I feel that it's possible that you're able to heal the parting, accept it, welcome it as a necessary step forward. The flowers is quite a bright card, but the whip remains strong. Still, it is capable of, softening up the whip a little bit. And I feel that you see the necessity of this. It's certainly advice to embrace the contrast that you're dealing with here. In order to embrace this opportunity, you also need to tackle some challenges and also accept that some things are going to fall through in order to embrace the new. So I feel that this is what could be going on here. But still, we saw your heart cards, your corner cards, and your bottom line. It's clear that an invitation, an offer is coming your way, and it's really about managing that change. So let's read some more details through the diagonals. There are plenty to read in here. We don't necessarily have to read all of them. What I like to focus on or bring our attention on are the complete portraits. So we have the portrait around the stork, around the house, around the star, around the key. These are all complete portraits. So this line is pretty important here because it has all of these central cards. And this is a combination of a move. Again, the change and the star and key suggesting that this is meant to be. We also have the garden and the sun that are at the center of 2 other complete portraits. And this is all around success and popularity. So I think you're really in for, a sense of appreciation by your environment, and you could feel like, you have like more status in your environment, in your community. So it can feel like a really exciting time. And it's possible that this entails parting with some people or with certain circles or with previous commitments or responsibilities, but I think at this stage it's really about embracing your power and your sense of success. So very much growing up and living up to this coin group. So these diagonals we were saying. The child, dog, and letter into the sun, key, and flowers. This is a wonderful piece of news that welcomes the new. The child also ties into the clover, into house, sun, fish, and ring. I mean, it's hard not to see this as some kind of work or money opportunity, business related or work related, or whatever projects you do that take up your activity in life and probably bring you money. These are really positive indications and diagonals. We have the road stork moon goes into the star and scythe, so very much a combination of change, an offer, with the moon. It's a breakthrough. It ties into the whip, and this is where we suggested that maybe it entails a certain change, possibly a radical change. But still the cards that lead up to that are very beautiful cards. So, the idea of letting go of something in order to embrace this opportunity is, I think, coming consistently and clearly through the cards. Road, mountain into garden, star into cross and whip. So again here, this idea of sacrifice. Maybe you're feeling guilty about some things, like you don't want to let go of that past situation or the current situation, but really, your sense of growth is very much highlighted. It's important at this stage, coin group. I don't think you're going to have much of a choice as well. The whip and cross can burden you with having to decide on moving on. That could come through here. Other combinations through the diagonals: fox, stork, garden into cloud, scythe, whip. So this is a more challenging triplet here. And this is the change. So I feel this is probably the environment that you have to release in order to make that change. The fox, stork suggests that you want to focus on your priorities and your self-interest. And yes, this does mean breaking off from a certain environment. This is the tough choice for you, coin group, as you embrace this new opportunity. What else can we look at? Did we look at the child into clover, house, sun, fish, and ring? Yes, I believe we did this one. I also, maybe this one we didn't do, the mountain, garden into the star, cross, and whip. Or did we? We saw this, this idea of popularity. We tied it into the road. Yes, we did see that. We could start a little bit off the edges. The clover, house, sun, and fish is lovely here. It's good for money and assets. There is that sense of wealth and prosperity that could be coming your way. So that is a beautiful message. We did read this one. We did read this one as well as part of other combinations. It's interesting because when you go through the diagonals up and down, you end up tying up all of them. Perhaps the mouse, key, and ring was, this ties into the dog and then back into the child. This is a bit of a speed bump. Again, the mouse is surrounded by some pretty powerful cards, so I'm really not seeing it as challenging. The key helps you put everything under control. I really think it lessens the impact of the mouse. It's already not very strong, so with these cards, I think you easily overcome any challenges. The dog and house can suggest colleagues, visitors, or people you work with or friends. And the mouse can suggest some issues that come up, but again, the key and ring helps you resolve them. Although this is not related to the fact that you need to break off from big chunks in order to welcome this new opportunity. This is maybe the smaller stuff around the change that comes through the mouse. What else can we look at? I think we've covered quite a bit, coin group, and I think the message is really clear. You're in for, I think, a bigger you. I think you're growing, you're more popular, you are living up to more responsibilities, you're willing to embrace more, take up more space in your environment. And with that comes change. You know, if you want to embrace that bigger side of you, you have to let go of the smaller you. And sometimes this involves letting go of associations, commitments, or other parts of your life that are associated with the smaller you. So this can feel like shedding some skin, and maybe this can be a bit painful, like we saw with the cross and whip, but this is very much growing pains, coin group, and it's very important for you to embrace this opportunity so that you can grow to the next level, and so that you can grow and live more of what you are. So some pretty cards, I would say, coin group. Let me know how you feel this is playing out for you. I'd really like to hear your thoughts. Leave me your comments. I'm looking forward to them. Very best of luck with this, I would say, upgrade or this growth that is coming for you. So very best of luck with it again, coin group. Let me know how it goes. And until we meet again, thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself. Okay, key group, here we are with your lovely key here on the side and my deck. It is always shuffled between readings. Let's get into your cards and find out what is the message that is meant for you to hear right now. So for your layout, I want to do a tableau of nines, a mini tableau of nines. That's a 21 card layout, and I am good to just deal out your cards. Okay, key group, here we are with your mini tableau of nines, and really the card that jumps out for me is the key right in the middle of your mini tableau here. It is also the symbol of the charm that represents your reading, so there can be a bit of a sign here that comes through even more, but even on its own, the key at the center of any layout is really powerful. It is a card of solutions, resolutions, the idea of unlocking potential, being able to get through into something. The key is an all-around powerful symbol. So clearly, one of the main things that is coming your way, and the main message that comes to you this time around, is the idea that solutions are at hand and you will gain access. You will gain insight and you will get through. So that is a really powerful and reassuring message for you. Now let's look at the corner cards. We have the heart and ring, which is really good for a relationship, but we also have the bear and scythe, which is about breaking through and stepping up to some kind of release or change. And I would have read this independently, but because of the ring and scythe being a very powerful combination of divorce and release, I have to say that the idea of a separation is possible. I also see this in the top row, and we see it in this column here, and in all the lines where we're going to find the scythe. But still, I think in general, we're looking at some powerful energies. Most of the cards in your mini tableau here are very positive, and it's really just the scythe that is potentially challenging, but it can also be a neutral card. It is not always challenging. It is about swiftness and release and separations, and that is neutral in and of itself. We also have the woman who shows up in your cards. She probably represents a relationship. We have the ring in your corner cards, so relationships are coming through to an important extent in your tableau. We also have the house, that too can represent relationships. So I suggest we build your tableau from the ground up and get straight into the details. So starting with the top row, we have the heart, woman, and tree, and then we have the bird, house, and stork and scythe. So this is really, to me, the standout cards in this line. We have the house and stork. This is the classic combination for a house move, and on top of that, we have the scythe. The bird is about speaking out, being vocal. With the house, it can point to an announcement, but what I'm seeing here is that you may be in for a move, you may be in for some kind of change, and the woman in this line can come into play in different ways depending on your specifics. One possibility is that you part from her. Perhaps you were living with her, she was a roommate, or she's your partner, and there is a split in that sense where you move out. Or she is someone who helps you make a move. or she is someone whom you have to express this idea that you're moving or the fact that you're moving. So she can come into play in different ways for you. But really the idea of change is very much indicated in the cards. I do think this is a physical change of sorts, but it might not be for some of you. It could just be metaphorical change where you are changing up, your foundations or the way you've lived so far. You could be making some deep changes to your lifestyle. The set of cards here can also suggest renovations. Maybe that's something you're doing. Decluttering is also something that might be a good idea to pursue at this time. Really the idea to refresh your surroundings, to refresh yourself through your surroundings is very much brought into play. Now, the thing about the tree in this line, I suggest is you want to wait for the right time. So it is coming, but be patient until you actually have the news so you can actually act on the change. And the heart and tree earlier in the line are positive cards. So I feel that this could be something that you're looking forward to and something that will make you happy. You're looking forward to the change and you're ready to do it. Now in the second line, we have a bunch of positive cards here as well. We have the lily, cross, and anchor. The anchor is a bit like the tree. In fact, this whole column is very much about staying put and being patient. It is very much about building on what you've already accomplished. The idea of growth and maturity are very much coming through the cards. There is a sense of strength and self-confidence that also comes through. Now in this row, it is very much about pursuing what you've been pursuing career-wise, job-wise, and your life. But the cross can suggest a bit of a challenge here in the sense that it brings a bit of a burden and responsibilities, the idea of having to deal with something, put up with something, or stick with something, as in this case. And so I feel that it ties in with what we saw earlier with the tree, the idea of having to wait until the right time comes through. And this right time, I really feel, comes through the key in the center of everything. So you have to wait until you get the right green light key group, but it is coming and you are going to break through. On the other side of the key, we have the star and moon along with the key. These are definitely wish fulfillment cards. So definitely the solutions come through, the right message comes through, the green light is on its way for you to make a change. And again, with the mountain, this can represent a different place. It's associated with distance and different countries and travel. And so we're seeing another message in your cards that is associated with moves and changes, just like we saw with the stork. We're going to see the road as well in the bottom line. So every one of your rows includes a card that is associated with a different place or a move or a change. So I feel this is very much coming to you at this time. And the focus for you is really on the kinds of changes that you're making. And if it is a physical move, where are you heading? The earlier cards, I think, are really positive for you in the sense that they tell you that you have what it takes. So apart from the suggestion that you need to hang in there and wait for the right time, I think these cards can be interpreted differently and in parallel as well, and suggest that you are on the right track in life, you are heading in the right directions, you are making the right changes, and that the changes that you're anticipating are aligned with your growth. They are going to add on top of what you've built. It is part of your vocation, your life path, that sense of self that is strongly captured in this part of your mini tableau. So again, solutions are coming, wish fulfillment is at hand, and this can lead to a move to a different place. Now, the mountain is not necessarily associated with a different place. It can be about blockages. And the thing about it at the right hand side on the end of a line is that you could be facing up to the blockages. But when I look at this column here, I see that you're able to break through. And this ties into what we saw with your corner cards. The mountain, bear, anchor, and tower, and tree are, or they tend to be pretty unmoving, rigid cards. And these are basically all of the cards in the deck that indicate the idea of really being anchored, being strongly rooted, and similar ideas. So there is a strong sense of self, of who you are, your inner foundations, your outer foundations, inside, outside, that you are really strong in what you're doing. The idea of confidence is very much coming through. And with the key in the middle of all this, it's a powerful message for you, very encouraging. Really embrace your sense of strength and your sense of self. Now back to the mountain here, I suggested that there is this idea of a blockage, but because of the scythe, I think you're able to break through, and because of the bear, you're also up for it. So don't be discouraged by anything that appears to be standing in your way. You've got exactly what it takes to move past it and to break through it. So I'm not concerned. The thing about the ring on the other side of the mountain is that it can be a relationship, or it can be a commitment, or some kind of involvement. And so what I'm sensing here is that you need to break through a certain situation. You're moving places, you're traveling, you're breaking through, you've got solutions. So it's possible that you've been maybe stuck in a certain situation or not able to move forward, but it's very clear that you're going to get the green light and you're going to be able to make that change. So a very beautiful message coming to you. I think it brings a feeling of relief and release and freedom for you coming soon. Now let's look at the bottom row. The Bear, Rider, Tower. Again, I'm seeing the sense of longevity, just like we suggested in this column. The idea that you've been going in a certain direction for a while, or that you'd been in a situation for a while. And then we see the Fish, Road, Clover, and Ring. So the Road is a card of change. It has to do with crossroads. And the Clover and Fish on either side are beautiful cards. We also have the Star, Key, and Moon that surround the Road. Very beautiful. So again, I'm seeing that the change is really blessed. The Clover and Ring can suggest some kind of a new direction in contrast to what we saw in the column. The idea that you're in for new involvements, or perhaps you were stuck in the current phase and you weren't able to move forward, and now you're able to pursue and continue with this phase of yours, or this project, or this goal that you're after. The Clover and Fish are beautiful cards, and the Star and Key around the Moon and the Moon around the Road are very, very supportive. Definitely you want to make that change, or you want to keep moving forward as soon as you get the green light. The Fish can be about money, the Tower can be about the job, and so it's possible that you have a sense of growth or a promotion that comes through, especially with the Bear and Rider earlier in the line. The Bear in the context of work is associated with empowerment and leadership and management. So you could be gaining a promotion. Maybe you'd been waiting for it. You'd been doing everything it takes to get it, really being disciplined and doing the right thing and being patient. And now it can finally come through. Now, if you're not in a job, maybe you're in business for yourself, or you do other things in life, then the same essence comes through, and it suggests that you're in for a sense of empowerment. Maybe you make more money. Some opportunity opens up for you to make more money or to gain empowerment in one way or another. So very beautiful set of cards here. And in this line, relationships are supportive. I don't feel this is so much about a relationship, but they are everywhere in our life. And so in this change, in this opportunity, whether it's job related or otherwise, you're going to find supportive people around you, or a supportive network around you. So very supportive cards. Let's move on to the columns. We have the Heart, Lily, and Bear. This is interesting because the Lily and Bear in my dictionary typically points to legal matters. Now, it doesn't have to be the case. It can be more administrative. But with the Heart, I think things are working out to your advantage. When it comes to career, because the Lily is the card of career, I think, again, we are seeing that sense of growth and empowerment. So certainly seek to grow. Don't be satisfied with what you've done or where you are right now, even though you seem to be doing really well. There is an opportunity for you to grow and change. Embrace that. Embrace the adventure. And when it comes to relationships, this can represent parents or elderly people. I'm not so sure they tie in so much into the rest of everything here, maybe with the house, but with the heart, there is a happy feeling. And in terms of health, because the lily is sometimes associated with health, I think there is strength and energy and possibly even appetite because of the bear that are working towards to your advantage. The woman, cross, and rider, I feel she could be the bearer of news. She could be the one who gives you the green light, or at least offers some kind of input towards your changes and movement here. And the thing about the cross is that you have to wait for her to come through. Not everything is in your hands. The cross is a bit of a burdensome card in this sense. It can suggest the idea of having to deal with something, the idea from bearing your cross. So you have to wait for the message to come through. And again, it's another reminder that you need to wait for the right time. And then when the opportunity opens up, it's, you have that momentum and you're able to move forward with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. Now the tree, anchor, and tower, all three cards are very similar in the sense that they really stand their ground, deeply rooted, very strong in this sense. So this is very much about building on what you've done, having strong foundations, and also really having confidence in yourself. The tower really adds to the key in the sense that you are smart, you have the expertise, you have the knowledge, you are an authority in this area. So have confidence in yourself, and really step up to this level of, I guess, an expert, or at least to the next level towards your expertise. So really embrace your sense of strength again. Now the bird, key, and fish is great news. This is the green light because we have the key in here. And the bird is the news card or the vocal card that brings this message. And the fish is about money. So this can be a wonderful opportunity in a financial sense or in a practical way. Again, that sense of empowerment, possibly making more money, feeling comfortable, and also enhancing your prosperity consciousness are very well captured by these cards. Definitely a positive opportunity coming your way. House, star, and road. Again, a bit like the house and stork, the house and road are changes on the domestic front, on the home front, possibly on the job, because the house can be associated with your team on the job. And so we're looking at a beautiful unfolding here, a very positive change and a welcome change. Again, if you're not physically moving, there could be some wonderful enhancements happening here. You could be experiencing a very happy home life or really feeling at home with yourself and where you're heading in life. So beautiful cards. The Stoic Moon and Clover is another one of those general combinations that brings so much happiness and wish fulfillment. Lots of luck. Again, this can be about the green light or the ability to move forward, because the Stork is a movement card that picks things up and brings about changes. And finally, we did read the Scythe and Mountain, which is about breaking through, and the ring here that can be about parting with certain involvements or relationships and engaging in ones that are that bring you to that next level that the cards are all about. So no obstacles are going to be in your way. If they are in your way, you're going to be able to break through them and then re-engage and engage in the things that matter to you. So overall, key group, these are some really positive cards. The main message is that solutions are at hand and the green light is at hand. Another message is that changes are ahead, are coming your way, and we are seeing lots of cards that encourage you to embrace that change and to really go for it. I would say the tricky, possibly tricky if you want to see it this way, is waiting for the right time, or perhaps the green light depends maybe partly on this other person, but it comes through. So just hang in there until it comes through, and when it does, be ready to embrace that change. Another important message that came through your tableau is that you really need to have faith in yourself and trust that you've got what it takes. You are smart, you are specialized, you do have the knowledge and experience, you've built in the right way. So embrace your sense of strength and be ready to grow up to the next level. Very, very encouraging in these ways. Now, I want to wrap up with a few more clues coming through several diagonals here. And the diagonals are very much part of the portraits that we see in the card. So we have a few complete portraits. We have the one around the cross, the one around the anchor. We've got the key as well at the center, the star and moon. So these middle cards here, they are the inside cards that are within the outside frame. And honestly, I feel they're pretty spiritual cards. We have both the cross and key that are associated with matters of destiny and, you know, the undercurrents of your life. On top of that, we have the star and moon, you know, they're celestial elements, and they bring also that sense of faith and intuition. And the anchor is very much about your sense of self and your sense of strength. So a very beautiful message of really embracing your higher self, your intuition, what you know is meant for you. And it can be a really powerful message in this sense. So really embrace your sense of strength. These are beautiful cards. Now, with regards to the diagonal, continuing on this topic of spirituality, we have the cross, tower, and key in this V here. And it is a beautiful set of cards because they're all adjacent to each other, these three cards. With the heart and house, I think this can be taken in a metaphorical sense, the idea of the life you're building for yourself, or the you know, the kind of lifestyle that you're creating for yourself and the goals that you're pursuing. It is very much about doing what you love and really committing to that. And with the moon and ring on the other side of the house, you have, first, on a physical level, you have supportive relationships and a supportive home life that helps with that. And also on a metaphorical sense, it does pursue this idea of really committing to the things that you want to do, the things that make you happy. It can be a creative time, I have to say. There is that sense of spirit, intelligence, creativity. You know, this can be about really expressing yourself. Definitely a good time to do this. And if you have been considering this, the message is clearly about pursuing it. Now, the other set of diagonals are the bear, cross, into tree, into key, road, moon, and scythe. The standout combination for me is the tree and key. This is about achieving a very important goal. We have the bear, cross, and tree earlier. This is very powerful for growth and success and really stepping up to it. And then we have the road, moon, and scythe, which is clearly a change of direction and pursuing this invitation or this offer or whatever it is that is brought through the green light. So very beautiful cards. Change is clearly ahead. Now, other ones we can look at are the lily woman into the anchor fish, and then star, stork, and mountain. So here the idea of moves and changes is captured again, but we see wish fulfillment cards that come through this woman. She's supportive. She could be someone in your professional environment. She could be someone older, a senior, someone who's mature really. And I think she has your back. She offers you support and she helps you with these changes. And again, you know, the star and fish is lovely for financial empowerment, empowerment in other practical ways. So very, very much a message to embrace your sense of prosperity and your sense of growth. And we have the lily rider into anchor bird, star, clover, and mountain. So again, lots of wish fulfillment and success cards coming together. The rider is another card of moves and movement. And like we said, the mountain can also suggest a change of location. The lily is about your career, but we also have success cards here. So you are building something solid for yourself. And this is wonderful news that comes your way to encourage you to embrace that change, to move forward. So overall, key group, this is a very empowering spread. Changes are ahead, yes. You need to embrace them and you need to be willing to grow and change. It is the right time to pursue anything creative or what you feel is part of your life, you know, what you're meant to put out there. Very much an encouragement to pursue this. Just wait for the right time, wait for the green light. It will come through, and this woman has your back. She is a supportive person. Be willing to step up to any obstacles. I don't think there's going to be many of them. I think you're going to be able to dissolve them and break through them pretty easily. And really commit to what you're about, you know, commit to your sense of strength. Have faith in your abilities. You've got everything it takes to make those changes and to grow up to the next level. Embrace the good that is coming your way, you know, don't resist your good, and embrace that sense of prosperity that is very much in your cards, and that may well be part of this beautiful change. So beautiful cards, key group, I would say. I'm really looking forward to your feedback on this. Let me know in what area of your life this is happening, or if this is a bigger life change that you feel is going on for you. Leave me your thoughts and comments. I'm looking forward to them. So until we meet again, key group, thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself.